for Democratic Reforms, which is located now in Delhi, started by two professors of Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, and they have immense information. If you go to the website, you find remarkable collection of information about political parties, about their qualifications, about the people elected, their wealth, their position, how they have grown up in their wealth, all every conceivable information about political parties and their legislatures are available in the website of Association for Democratic Reforms. So what I wish to convey here is that statistics should play a more important role in the preparation of voter lists. For example, the person is expected to register himself as a voter as of 1st January of every year. Now, we have a well-regulated system of compiling this information, and then there is a door-to-door survey once in 5 years. In between, you collect any application for inclusion, they are verified and so on. But the composition of voter population, the detailed study of the age composition, of course we have, but I am not very sure whether it is perfect. It needs to be researched. Not only that, when they come to vote, how do they vote? How many women come and vote? How many gentlemen come and vote in their polling booth in each one? For example, you will be surprised in some of the African states where I have gone to see the elections. The election result is announced in each polling booth itself. They will say what is the number of votes cast, how many women have cast the vote, how many men have cast the votes, how many have become invalid votes, everything at the polling booth itself. We do not have that system because we have our own practical difficulties. India is such a vast country. Now, all these electronic voting machines where the votes are collected, they are centralized in each district headquarters, and then in the presence of the witnesses of the political parties, the counting starts. With an electronic voting machine, the counting is simple. It used to be taking sometimes even months to complete the voting in some areas where it is challenged and so on. In Indonesia, for example, they take about nearly a month to announce the result. Whereas in India, we are able to announce the result the same day, maximum 8 to 10 hours, 90% of the results will be announced. So we have technologically improved in a big way, but that doesn't mean that we are perfect in our system. In the conduct of elections, or in the preparation of voter rolls, or in the regulation of political parties. So here we need a lot of assistance, a lot of research to be done by political parties. In England, for example, or even in USA, the political parties have a huge research organization. They have a lot of apprentices, like students of public administration, statistics being drafted. They prepare the research papers for the political parties to enable them to draft their own policy manifestos and so on. We do not have, although slowly coming up in India, but I am afraid it is not a well-organized effort. There must be good research papers. There must be good think tanks in each political party to prepare the various aspects of election matters for the political parties. So one of the things I would like to probably mention now, because when they introduced me, the person who introduced me said, Chief Election Commission of India, Government of India. First thing is, it is not Government of India. It's a constitutional body. You don't say Supreme Court of India is part of the Government of India. Supreme Court of India is a constitutional body. Similarly, Election Commission of India is not part of Government of India. This is what I was told by one of my predecessors when I fronted him for his advice. He said, they raised this impression that is prevalent among many, that the Election Commission is part of Government of India. It is not. And whenever you want to write a letter, don't write to anybody except to the Prime Minister of India or to the President of India. Because we are supposed to report only to the President of India and to the Parliament of India. We are not accountable to any other person. So the Election Commission, as it is conceived in India, is a constitutional body, and it is the only constitution in the world where the election commission is mentioned in the constitution itself. In no other constitution, written or unwritten, or unwritten law, the election commission gets the status that has been given by our founders of the constitution, and it has been given substantial recognition and importance. And as you know, the election commissioners cannot be, the chief election commissioner cannot be removed except by the impeachment in the parliament. Those other election commissioners, there is a nebulous position in the constitution. They could be removed otherwise as well. Of course, we might have discussed or learned from the debates there are certain changes which are required to make it absolutely clear for the people to know the role of the election commission. The election commissioners are given the rank of a Supreme Court judge. And as I said, that when Mr. T. Session was the chief election commissioner, prior to that there were a multi-member election commission, but they were not given the same rank. But when Mr. Narasimha Rao became the Prime Minister, he found a big challenge for the election commission, because once Mr. Narasimha Rao announced the election date for India, from a place called Burkina Faso, that we will have the election in so-and-so date in the month of February or so. Mr. Session was the chief election commissioner, went on to the Doordarshan and said the Prime Minister has no authority to announce the election dates. It is the election commission which will decide. This is the kind of independent and extraordinary authority that has been given in the Constitution of India. In fact, there is a judgment of the Supreme Court which says that wherever there is a legislative vacuum in the election management of this country, the chief election commissioner cannot throw his hands in despair and appeal to God. He has to take decisions. He can take decisions which will have the force of law, but within the framework of the Constitution and the Representation of People's Act. So the unique position of the election commission has to be understood, realized, and the usefulness of statistics in the election management. The pundits in the various subjects should realize there is so much of opportunity. I call it as election management as statistician delight. You can take any number of research projects in the various election processes that have taken place. And if you go to the website of the election commission, you will find out all the information, statistical information, it may happen, but there is no inferences drawn from that. These inferences can be drawn only a proper research. So that's where I still believe that the academics can play a very important role. There is a training institute for the election management in Delhi, but that is not enough. I would suggest that various universities should address themselves to some of the intricate issues of election management and come out with various proposals. For example, we have what is known as the first past post system, by which means that anybody who gets the maximum number of votes gets elected. Which means again, if you have one more vote more than any other person, you get elected. It happened in 2004. The candidate for Gulbarga had one extra vote and he was declared elected. Now the question is, a person who wins in a particular constituency gets about 20 to 25% of the votes polled. It means he gets elected just with 20 to 25% of votes. In fact, if you read a book by Mr. Arun Shuri on the elections of India, you will realize how spurious is the claim that the representatives say that we are representing the people. They are certainly not representing the people. They are representing only 25% of the votes polled. So there are situations, there are many countries where they insist on minimum 50% of the votes polled for condition to be declared as a successor. Here, with 25% votes, he claims himself to represent the remaining 75% as well. So this is a big pitch that is going on, and they will say in the parliament we represent the will of the people. Are they really representing the will of the people? Certainly not. So here again, I think Edmund Burke was mentioning to the voters of Bristol, he said, elect only such people who represent your local interest. But when there is a conflict between local interest and national interest, you elect only such people who vote for the national interest. Can we say that today? You please analyze the voting pattern in the parliament, in the state legislature, and you can find some kind of research study to see whether national interest prevails or the local interest prevails. Similarly, if you look at the debates in the parliament, I have had some privileges to attend some of the debates, even when the Prime Minister Nehru was there, and subsequently Indira Gandhi was there. I attended the parliament sessions. The tenor of the debate, the quality of debate used to be extraordinarily good, and they used to be real pearls of wisdom, like Mr. Murthy also, Mr. Murthy, and so many people. They used to, and Justice Chagla, so many people. I mean, it used to be a delight to sit in the parliament and listen to them. Today you go and see, it's very pathetic, very unfortunate that we do not have the best representatives. People are not really coming out with the best speeches. The speeches of parliament, of course, they are published. They are also worth studying. But for statisticians and for political science students, to find out the quality of the debates, quality of discussion, the quality of voting, and so on. So there are any number of areas where we can really make some statistical analysis and find out. But the main point I would like to emphasize is that the political parties need to be regulated in this country. And I have been pleading this in a number of occasions. Similarly, funding of the political parties. My suggestion has been that this present system is wrong. It is not transparent. You should have a national election fund. The companies and the individuals should not be allowed to donate anything to any political party. These donations should go to a national election fund, and the national election fund will be administered by the election commission in consultation with all political parties, arrive at the amount to be given to each individual candidate. In the present state of affairs, no poor man, no ordinary man can really contest the election successfully. So it is again a place for research to prove that the existing system is not in favor of equality. And how they equality before law, they say. But where is equality? Where is the rule of law to make this democracy more successful? So these are the areas where we should ponder, we should do some research. I suppose I can stop here. And if you have any questions, of course, I will be delighted to answer. But let me thank all the persons in the department and the visiting guest speaker, Madam Shubha. And I do hope that it will provoke you to think, because unfortunately most of our universities, they are only examination oriented. They are not research oriented. And this is where the teachers have to play a very important role. I have studied in a British university. I have studied in North Indian University, Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda. I have seen the differences. The students should be encouraged to think independently. They should not be encouraged to, go through the textbook way. Textbooks are there as guides, but they must be encouraged to think afresh. I still remember when I was studying, there was one Professor Asif Wadam in St. Joseph, Bangalore. He used to encourage us to think independently and write independently. And he used to say the exam, you should show your talent. When they value the papers, they will realize that he is a man with a marked difference. He is not a routine student. So that every student can attend. This is where I think we need a lot of reorientation. We have brilliant brains, there is no doubt about that. But unfortunately, we seem to have been caught up in so much of politics and so much of unintended policy matters. The students and the teachers have to take a great interest in providing opportunities for new researchers, particularly in the field of public policy. And some of the foreign universities you find there's so much of access and emphasis on making such researchers. So I would appeal to all of you to take more interest and And I have no doubt that statistics and political science will come a long way to help this country improve in its quality of democracy. Thank you very much.